Okay guys, so welcome back to the updated analysis on LTCUSD, also known as LiteCoin. We're currently in a few positions right now. You know this is a cryptocurrency, and of course you hopefully know that there are different ways to approach cryptocurrencies as opposed to trading in the foreign exchange markets. I believe it is a little bit less reliable, but although cryptocurrencies, I feel personally recently have been moving and trending a lot better than the forex pairs. The forex pairs seem to be really choppy. They seem to be breaking out of areas that are really highly probable to break out of, and then snapping right back to where they started, breaking out again, snapping back right to where they started, and then reversing completely the other way. There have been a couple of good moves in the forex pairs, but specifically this video is going to be cryptocurrency only. We're going to be focusing on LTCUSD because that is the main crypto that we have been trading, and we do currently have a lot of positions open right now. So let's dive in. You'll be able to see the screen. We're on the 4 hour right now. Let's go all the way back out to the daily again. We've done this a couple of times, so you'll know exactly where we're at with this. But right now we have started to see some bullish momentum. Now if you look in comparison to the candles, there's not really been a lot of momentum from day to day, but we have pushed through in a bullish manner. Now what's happening is quite interesting. Once we start to scale down in lower time frames, is we're able to see exactly what's happening on a micro level, and then it might give us a better understanding of where we're going to be able to take this cryptocurrency. So if you see here on, let's go down all the way down to the hourly, we'll go and get a really good picture of everything that we are seeing. So this was part of the initial bullish run up. It was a good bullish run. We had got in all the way back somewhere around here, I believe, and now we are starting to rally up. Now what's happened is we hit that level at around about 148.70, and we've sort of retraced back down. We had that pullback phase to the push, right? And then what happened there is we sort of, one could have argued that this was, you know, a double bottom here, even though we've had multiple touches, and then subsequently later on we actually did get that second bottom that would make much more sense in terms of making a decision off of a double bottom. So what's happened is we've seen that push away. The market has respected the push away many candles, at least 5 or 6, and then we have come back down to retest that initial first bullish move up that broke these highs around about 139.70. So now we've come back down, we've got that retest, and we have really pushed off. We've broken these highs, but what's happened is, interestingly, we had this bullish trend line that we had drawn in. It was at what I personally believe a really good angle for making reliable judgments in terms of getting in. It wasn't too steep, it wasn't too shallow, and now what's happened is we've come back up to retest in the form of an inverted double top, and we are pushing back down and finding a little bit of support here where we have our 148.70. So if you look to the left, because typically what happens is, obviously when trend lines get broken, they'll come back and they'll be retested, but this was an extremely quite a sharp move away from something that's not as extremely reliable in terms of stacking maybe a resistance level alongside the retest of the broken bullish trend line that would also act as resistance. So in these cases, we always like to look to the left of the chart, always want to be able to see what's been happening, and then we actually found, you can see here, we've seen roughly in line with where this had quite a big rejection. We had drawn a little mini area of resistance. Now what we had seen on the left hand side here is we'd seen this area of resistance that had formed a tweezer top and then started pushing the market back down considerably lower, and then we noticed this other top here that had respected nicely an area of the market that had deemed to be quite sensitive. So what's happened is we've took this area here from basically the edge of this candle wick to the top of this candle wick, and we slid it all the way across. And if you see on the daily, you'll see here it is tight against the edge of the candle wick to the top of these highs, giving us that really thin range. And then when you go down to the 1 hour, you'll see just how perfectly it touched the edge of this candle wick the most recent one and the very top of that wick. So when you do see levels like this hitting or price action hitting trend lines like this, and they're having quite a really strong, precise impact, the chances are there might actually be another level that's coincided with this that your eye maybe just hadn't seen, and this is something that happened for me. So I guess the next question is, where do we go from here? Of course, this is quite a big candle in terms of volume compared to the rest of them, so we might actually see some price action moving a little bit lower, but me personally, I'm still pro-bullish, and if we go to the daily, what we really want to be seeing is, we wanted to see these highs broken. We've now seen that. What we want to see is these highs broken, and then that should start to open up the floodgates a little bit to maybe get price action up to a level like so, round about 17944, or let's just call it 180 to round it off. And then, who knows? I don't know how far this is actually going to go. All I know is I do believe that there is quite good bullish momentum, and I'm looking to ride that out for as long as the market is going to allow me to. But I'm going to make sure that any positions I do get into, I'm going to be putting my stop loss to entry as soon as humanly possible. What does that even mean? It's just moving your stop loss to the price that you've actually entered the market. So now, whatever you did risk, whether it was 1%, 2%, 3%, what will happen if you do have the market turn against you is you will be taken out at no loss. You will hit break even, hit zero, you will have lost no money. And then of course, if the market started to move really well in your favour and you're starting to understand market structure and where might be a safe place to put your stop loss, then of course you can move that up, start locking in profits, or just keep it the same and then close half your position, so that way you've still locked in profits, the rest is risk free, and you can maybe look to add a second or a third position, which is personally what we have done here. We have multiple positions on this crypto at break even, and we're just going to keep adding to them safely as long as the market allows us to do so. And we're going to be monitoring it carefully to make sure that if we do have the market turn against us, what's the probability of it coming all the way down to our break even point? What would be the probability of it coming all the way down to our stop loss point? Of course, again, nothing is guaranteed, especially in crypto. There's very volatile moves, as you can see on the screen here. Something like this would completely annihilate all of our stop losses. These things just cannot be avoided. So you have to have that bearing in mind, which is an incredibly smart idea, to be moving any profit or any positions rather to your break-even point when it is safe to do so, and it's moved a considerable amount of way so that you can give it breathing room, because of course the market will fluctuate. It's not always going to trend perfectly, but it may be trending nicely in one direction, but still having a little bit of sloppy pullbacks, not really ebbing and flowing like you would probably hope to get in. But that being said, I do think that next week's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be a real defining point on whether the bulls are going to be able to take control and push past this level that we've just rejected, round about the 155 mark. And that is ultimately going to help us understand, okay, can we make this next leg up to 180? And then we'll reassess for there. But what happens is people get too greedy, and they see bullish runs up like this, and they start adding without letting the market breathe. And then what happens is they don't give enough time to then move their stop loss to entry, and they have 3 or 4 positions that they got so excited about moving in one direction that they had it in their head they were going to get all these positions to their break-even point, and it never happens, and they end up losing triple what they actually should and really damaging their account. So if you are going to add 2 or 3 or 4 positions, make sure the first initial ones are at break even, or you've mitigated the rest. Maybe you've risked 3% and you've managed to move your stop loss up by half, so you've only got 1.5 risk left on the table, and then you can maybe add a couple more positions. But again, this is not financial advice. We're not telling you how to trade or what to trade. This is just giving you some advice that if you do make these decisions, to do them safely, follow a correct risk management plan, and make sure to not let your emotions get the better of you, especially in a bull run, to over leverage your account and put yourself at harm. So that's pretty much all we wanted to cover for LiteCoin. I mean, next week's going to be an interesting week for us. Right now we're trending quite nicely. We've broken that 148.70. We created that little inverted double top round about 155, and now we are having that pullback and causing a little bit of stallation at the 148.70 handle, which is where we're finding this little bit of a mini support. So again, until next week, we're going to be monitoring our positions. We've got most of them are at break even. We will be looking to add other ones if we do break above this little bit high, maybe get a clear break above, and then maybe a retest, and then have another position added up to that 180 handle if we do decide to get there. But we're going to be monitoring this pair quite heavily, so we're going to be doing quite frequent videos. We'll do another one in the week coming up, either Tuesday or Wednesday, and we will be talking you through every single piece of decision making that we're going to be making for our current positions and what we do to look to add to any possible profits that we could take from this move. So that's pretty much it from us. We're going to see you next week on Wednesday at 7 o'clock for the market recap. As always, we're going to have the weekly watch list coming out on Sunday. They will be covering, of course, our forex pairs and any other pairs like cryptocurrencies that we may be trading or looking to trade. So until then, we hope everybody has a profitable trading week coming ahead. Any questions, any queries, leave them in the comments below or reach out to us on social media and we'll be happy to get back to you. So until then, we'll see you in the next one.